This week, we take a closer look at the macro and micro environments in our strategic analysis. I'm Saideepa Kumar, Research Fellow at the Tasmanian Institute of Agriculture, University of Tasmania. And these lectures have been prepared with material supplied by Dr. Neil Ritson, who is Senior Lecturer at Lincoln University in New Zealand, and Dr. David Monkton, who's Lecturer Agribusiness here at the University of Tasmania. We take a slightly different look at the basic PEST or pest analysis, bringing in the influence of location. We focus on the core elements of pest, the political, economic, social, and technological, with the addition of location. It is up to you to decide what actually affects your business. First, the social. Social culture is an overall term to cover the way in which people's values and habits can be identified so as to match your business products. You could think, who buys your products? What affects the purchase of your products? Think about your customers' values, religion, languages, their choices in terms of food, entertainment, leisure pursuits, sport, etc. Are there differences between groups you can identify and target? Also, internally for your business, what are the cultural attitudes to work? Is any of this changing? Social structure is an overall term covering the regional dispersion of people, class, age, skills, and educational achievement. You could ask, where are your customers? Are there different locations you can identify and target? Do you need online ordering and special delivery methods? Can you identify segments, for example? Can you classify your customers by age? What about your employees? Who do you employ? Are there issues in recruitment? What about your employees' mobility and flexibility, and the stability and size and structure of the labor market generally? So these are some of the questions you can think of in terms of social analysis. Next, we look at political. What policy and legislation has an impact on your business? At the supranational level, you will need to be aware of global and international legislation and the requirements within the countries of your potential customers. What about trade agreements? At the national level, there will be legislation related to the way in which things are produced, the pricing of products, and so forth. Also consider how employment, health and safety, and environmental legislation could affect you. Then, at the subnational level, you may need to take into account planning consents and environmental regulations linked to, for example, water and pesticide use. Next, the economic. There are a number of things to think about from an economic perspective. Take business cycles. Are you in a boom or a bust? What is happening to the gross national product? Are your customers getting wealthier? What about interest rates? Banks have different products at different rates. How will this affect your customers' purchasing power? How do interest rates affect your own investment opportunities? What is the unemployment rate? And what does this mean for your product sales, for your labor supply? This also affects the inflation rate. And then exchange rates and their fluctuation may also be influential. They affect your exports and imports to your business and in the wider community. So do your products become more or less appealing as a result? Next is the locational aspect. Location is very important to horticulture generally. From a production point of view, there is the need to consider, of course, soil and water and climate. What is the fertility of your soil? How easy is it for you to access water? In terms of climate, how many sunshine hours do you get? How much rainfall? What is the length of the season? What about wind? Can these factors be manipulated to your advantage? Most importantly, how is all this changing? Does government policy have an influence here? Will there be intervention? How fragile are your products? And what is the distance to markets within Australia and beyond? Are there sustainability issues? Could there be a problem, for example, with the perception of food miles? And linking back to the economic, what about the fluctuating exchange rates between Australia and other countries? Technological. There are two levels to consider for technological influence: output and inputs. From an output perspective, How high-tech is the delivery and marketing of your product? How fast do you need to change? Annually? In terms of inputs, what about production and service processes? Consideration should also be given to background technology and infrastructure, for example, in terms of information and communication. Are there good phone networks, mobile and landline? Are they secure? Do you have secure broadband and online processes? What about transport and distribution? Is the system efficient? Consider all relevant modes: air, rail, road, shipping. What about the reliability and cost of your fuel and power supply? What about irrigation? Are there efficiencies to be gained? For example, what are the technological advances being made in robotics, sensor networks, and drones? And how could all this change how you operate? Are there other businesses adopting new technologies? As was said at the start of this clip, of these 5 factors, what is the most relevant for you to analyze for your business?